the topic for tonight is what are the opportunities available in 2019? That's what we're looking at. And so they're each going to kind of give a little bit of a statement for you, and then we'll open it up to questions. So any questions before we start about the structure? Okay. Turn it over to whoever wants to start.
Yeah. Welcome, everybody. In a way, there's no structure. That's how we like it to be. We just work with the flow that was given. And it was very kind of Joyce to call us the wise women, but we are more or less the women that are in tune. And I guess anybody that is in tune is wise. And we all are, ready and willing to be in that place. That's why you're all here. The topic of this evening, what 2019 is going to bring us. At the end of 2018, it feels really like months ago, December, but it's like, a few weeks ago. But something was shared with me really briefly, and I had to keep my phone here because, whenever I do this work, there's the wise women that she's telling me about, forget about that. You cannot even think. So I had to get my phone to be reminded of the two, and actually one sentence. What they shared with me. Next year is about committing to your powers as it rises above all expected measures, dear people. Okay. Could you all hear me? Because often people don't hear me. I'm trying to talk a little louder here. So I want to continue on explaining what this means later on, but I leave the mic with either one of them right now to give a little introduction on what they feel that needs to be shared. Okay.
Go ahead. Good evening to each and every one of you. I'm Leticia Pizano. And so as I came here to speak, I asked my children, of course, because many good things, right? And it's funny because they were like ping pong, and we're ping ponging, right? Because we're all on the same wavelength. So the 5 things that I know that we are moving into for 2019, the first one is change. We know what change is. Change, we hear change. Oh, well, what is change? Well, change, and we'll get into more of what change is between the change in our mind, the change in our body, change in our heart, change in all systems, change in all systems. Love in all aspects of what is really love, and that unconditional love. The third is, my son said, my grandma's coming back to life. And it's the spirit awakening of all our loved ones re-coming back to the planet, rejoin us. And even though they don't come in physical form, they'll be in spirit form. We'll be able to tap into that. Fifth is the end of lies and deception, where only truth can reside. 5 is our God's sovereign freedom, and more freedom than ever. And that is freedom of all systems. Physically, spiritually, mentally, and emotionally. So I'll go more into that after we go through. But it is a great joy to be here with you all. This is 2019. Yay, we've made it. You've done something good. I've done something good. We shall remain. And we're moving into this together. It doesn't just take us individually. It takes us collectively. And then there's a ripple effect to that. That's cosmically, galactically, universally. It goes beyond that. Because we are being watched by the multiverses, by the omniverses, beings who are applauding us right at this very moment. So, thank you. Thank you. I channel the Akashic Records, and so I'm not going to give you anything from my head. So if you guys will give me just a second, I'm going to ask for the information,
I want you to know that I have a tendency to have to look at something other than faces because I get distracted. So I look at this plant. So if you wonder why I'm not addressing you guys, please ignore me because I'm just trying to hear the words that are being said. And so if you'll give me just a moment. And what I'm asking is, what are the events and revelations? And this is what's coming to me. What the question is that they want me to ask is, what are the events and the revelations that are going to occur in 2019 for the general public? And what we want you to know is that there are many events ahead of you that will lead you to transformation in a way that is beyond your understanding or conception of what you've experienced in the past. And they're laughing and saying, we all know that we have experienced transitions before. We go through the whole life process, from the process of being born and a child and growing up and having families and getting married and having relationships, and we all go through these changes. Ha ha ha. And they're saying, we're laughing at you now because you're just getting started, and this is not what we're referring to. What we're referring to you are the changes that are much beyond what is present in front of your very eyes at this time. And what we want you to see is that there's a new evolution that is happening in the universe that is causing chaos around you. However, what you will see is that there's a calmness that lies within you. As you see battles and struggles that are, for some crazy reason, I'm seeing a flash of a picture of Venezuela I saw on the news the other day with everybody fighting in the streets. And they're showing me that picture again and saying the chaos that is occurring around you and in different places and parts of the world are no longer you. And they're referring to everybody in this room. Okay, so that not necessarily anybody outside of this room. You are all here for a very specific purpose, to hear a specific message, and that's why we brought you here today. So what we want you to know, they're laughing again and saying, as we continue to tell you, the changes that are occurring will happen within your being. And as you observe the chaos that is going on around you, and the battles and the fights and the conflicts, you will begin to recognize that as the peace resides within you, they are no more. And as you will recognize that the fight that was once in you is there no longer. There is no more fight. And you will begin to find that place in your heart that you once longed for. And what you find in that heart is true and unconditional. And this will be you. The process that you'll be going through in the next few days, which the next few days is going to be several months for us, and the next few days will be the recognizing and the reckoning of letting go of past beliefs and thoughts that you once held so true to. I'm seeing like people that I have to prove my point. You have to believe like me. I'm making my case. There will be no more of that. You'll find a softness and a gentleness that lets you just be in your own presence and recognize that you are truly one with God and God is one with you, and you are all truly connected with everything that is. All that is and all is one. The events that will begin to unfold in your lives will be coming to you on a cellular or energetic level. There will be no great changes or events that occur in your life that will create this atmosphere. You'll recognize that you'll have a gentle touch or a gentle nudge that forces you to believe differently than what you have in the days past. You'll begin to recognize that this will become easier and easier for you, and the truth will stay within you, and you will no longer wander away from what you truly know. This is the gift that we're giving you in the year to come, and the days to come, the days ahead. You have much to look forward to, and mostly what you have to look forward to is the love that surrounds you and the love that is within you.
Yeah. So, more or less, when when we started this about structure, there's no structure. There shouldn't be any structure. The only reason why there is a structure is because that's how we have learned to exist on this planet as human beings. Okay, so when my guidance started to share with me years ago, they told me to forget what I've learned, forget all what I've learned, to truly become open to the limitless, I call it in English, limitless.
That's a good word.
It sounds weird. Okay. Anyways, possibilities. Okay, because we are our own worst nightmare. Okay, we are our enemy, and we always take away our own powers because we embrace conditionings and structures that are being put in our face or in the past. And it's time now to truly start emptying out everything and anything that puts you in a box, that gives you a law, that gives you an order, that gives you anything that tells you what to do. Nothing and no one should tell you what to do. Not beings that walk this planet, not beings that are out there, advising us, helping us, share it with us. It's good to listen. It's good to listen and feel. Okay, what resonates with my heart? What resonates with my truth? What is being given to me? And what do I truly need to do with that in this moment? Okay. There's a lot of change happening right now for a lot of people, also for me. And in the past few days, it has been feeling really weird. I don't know if anybody can, associate with that. But whenever there's a big transformation happening, it's almost like there's no floor to walk on. It feels like floaty and feels like really weird. It feels sometimes a little scary. Sometimes it feels that you're off or that something must be wrong with me. But things are shifting inside of us, big time right now. Okay, the so-called boundaries that I spoke with you guys are going away. And when there's no boundaries, there's no in our mind. There's no reverence. So it's like empty. So there's nothing to walk on. You understand what I'm saying with that? But that's where we're heading towards. No rules, no preconceived stories or things to expect. Like here today, we came here with nothing. Okay, I was just guided to put this together again and talk about 2019 and the changes. That's all we need. Okay, and we came here and we do whatever needs to happen. No rules, no limitations, no boxes. Okay, and within this freedom, we can truly exist and create what's best for each and every one of us in this split second that we're existing. Okay, so how can you embrace that? How can you embrace full surrender? I feel Leticia needs to talk to you about that right now. Sorry, that's what they're saying.
That's a big question. So yes,
if you don't agree with them, then but that's what they're saying.
From my experience, full surrender, it has taken me to move into my heart space with plant medicine. And I can't say that enough. I cannot advocate it enough because plant medicine has taught me, Mama Aya has taught me so much about surrender. Surrendered everything. I just got back from this weekend from a 3-day retreat. And it was so beautiful. People say, oh, I went to this crazy place where I had this bad trip as well, because that's where you're at, right? I had such a loving, nurturing 3-day healing. It was complete surrender. And I just kept saying, how am I going to integrate this? What can I do to give this to other people to integrate this into their lives? And what is complete surrender? How do we get there? Because yes, you don't need the medicine. The medicine is within you. All medicines are within you. You are medicine. when you go into your heart and you connect to your body, to your physical body, your emotional body, your spiritual body, your mental body, there's so much going on in there. We don't pay attention to what was really is being said. So complete surrender is letting the divine take you where it needs to be, being right here, right now, this moment. You're not worrying about yesterday, not worrying about tomorrow. Right now, being in this present, that is complete surrender. And we can just focus and maintain right here, right now. And that seems hard, right? Because we have calendars. We have a clock. We have time. Oh, we got to do this. We got to do that. Like me, you have 50 million kids. You got to plan. You just let it happen. Let that, okay, I know it's there. It'll come to me. But right now, I'm going to enjoy this moment right here, right now. Surrendering to the divine timing, surrendering to the divine synchronicity, to the divine order. And people say, well, what is that? What is that? Well, the universe speaks to you every day. People, you talk to God, your angels, your loved ones, your higher self, beings that you have yet to experience and see, yet they are within you. And we'll go over a little bit of that later, the little meditation that I will present. However, surrendering to that information, to your complete knowing. It's not about believing what he said, she said, this book, that book, this video, that, this, that, or the other. It's about knowing who you are. The when, where, how come, what, why, who did it from A to Z. You want to know all that? It's about knowing. Your glimpses of deja vu is complete surrender that you were in the right place at the right moment. It's God's little gift to you to say you were in the right place. Even if it's the suckiest place that you don't want to be in. Because you chose to say, I want to go through that. I want to learn that lesson. And we hear that and see it all the time. But when we really embrace that and say, oh yes, that is my lesson, I'm going to pick up and I'm going to continue to elevate my consciousness. That is creating your complete surrender. That is creating a relationship with surrender. It's not about, oh, surrender is something outside me. Surrender is something inside you, right here. Right here.
And seeing the so-called challenges as opportunities, I always say. There is no such thing as a challenge. It's an opportunity. And it will lead you, and it will give you the means. It will open doorways to whatever is important in this very second. Whenever there are any questions, by the way, feel free to raise your hand or ask it so we can implement it in whatever we are sharing so we don't forget. All right. Any questions so far about what has been shared? And feel free to also share your own experiences, because as you share it, other people can reflect upon that and recognize their own truth in that. Okay, that's how truly things need to be. If you ask me, whenever you hear a story, whenever you hear a teaching, whenever you hear a song, feel what it means to you. Not what their intent is, but truly what does it mean to you. It could be nothing. It could be very, very important. And be truthful enough to yourself to implement what's important. Okay, so you can rise to that occasion. Okay. So no questions.
I'm getting that there's a question. I keep hearing that.
I feel like
somebody has to ask a question.
That's why the second time.
Okay, so let's reframe this question. Okay. Now it's time for you guys to ask a question. Who's going to be the first person? Because we're not going on until somebody asks a question, apparently.
I'll ask a question. One of you said that our loved ones that have passed are coming back. They're coming back as another human, or they're coming back within us?
I would say all three. Some are coming in, being reborn.
Okay.
because they want to see, like they want front row seats to this transformation, of course. They want to help because one, maybe they didn't have a good life, right? So they're on the other side and they say, oh, wow, this is my turn to go in and do my part. And I see, right? Now I see, I know, I want to help. Two, we're moving into this elevated consciousness where we're leveling up in our dimensional frequencies, or whatever you want to call it. Yes, and so we're able to see the spirit world, the different levels of consciousness and different levels of dimensions, the God's mansions. And we'll see them interlink between us. And so people won't be freaking out. I mean, people see them now. You see ghosts all the time, right? Most of you are clairvoyants, right? But we'll be able to see them more like you are in front of me. That will be a really big gift. And then the third one is they are within you. They are you. They are in you. They are living through you. And that's something I always advocate. Like, there's never an ending to any of us. You know, that you are your grandmother, your mother, your father. It is in your DNA. Yes.
So when is this going to happen that we're going to be seeing different levels of energies?
I can feel your heart beating really
It's like, I'm really excited, but then I'm like, oh, wow.
It's really gradual, I think, for you in about the next 6 months.
Yeah, so this year, that's why I guess we needed to title it What's Happening in 2019. This year is a very, very amazing year, if you ask me, because of the opportunities that are being given to mankind. And we already have felt the shift and transformation. It started, honestly, if you ask me, truly, 2017, we started to truly witness things and things to be tangible. Before that, of course, there's a lot of shift and changes happening. But 2017 was almost like a big boom. Like, okay, finally. For me, it was okay. Finally, people are starting to wake up. And I don't mean it in a nasty way, but
yeah, I'm seeing it was like the dam broke.
yeah. It was long expected, and I was very, very relieved that it was time because I was excited. So, but anyways, 2018, a lot of transformation happening, but now 2019 is here, and beyond measure, people, beyond measure. So don't think, okay, this is what's going to happen tomorrow. This is what I'm going to teach or learn next year or next week. This is what I want. Don't want anything. Just be. Because what you want is this much of what you truly are capable of. Okay? So don't put your own limitations right here in front of you by wanting certain things. By comparing yourself with other people. Don't ever compare yourself with anybody. Because that's where you're limiting yourself. You understand what I'm saying here? Mm-hmm. And if anything that I need to say, this is it. Okay? If you go with this information that I share with you, and you walk this through these months, through this year, I'm talking really weird, I know, but you understand what I'm saying. As a reminder, let go of wanting, let go of wanting to understand, wanting to control, let go, just be. And within that breath of being, all these miracles are popping. It's amazing. I'm telling you, it's awesome. I don't know how to say it differently than that, but I'll shut my mouth for a second because it's so cool.
What happens is that when you start putting expectations or trying to analyze something or looking for an answer or okay, well, this is supposed to happen in 3 days, or this is supposed to happen in 6 months, and I'm supposed to change and I'm supposed to see things, you automatically put the brakes on. You put constrictions around yourself to where you are no longer open to receive the growth or the shifts or the changes. And if you remember what I said, I don't remember everything that I said, but one of the things that I said in my beginning statement was it was on a cellular level. So you won't be able to say, Okay, I'm searching to be able to see these beings. I'm going to read the books. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And I'm going to force myself to be able to do something or accomplish something or be like somebody. It isn't going to happen that way. It's a gradual process. And what the difference is that everybody in here is different, and everybody's on a different level, and everybody's on a different journey. And so when they're talking about shifting on a cellular level, it's what you can take. It's what your body can take. It's the shift and change that you're capable of doing. They're only going to give you what you can handle, or else they're saying, what I'm hearing, that you'll combust. I mean, basically, you'll just blow up because they can only do a little bit at a time, or else you'll go crazy because you'll be like, I mean, we all know. I mean, typically, there's only so much that we can what we can take. But once that cellular memory begins to shift and change, you have to adjust to that shift and change. Your brain has to change. Your body function changes. Your whole being has to change. And it takes time to adjust and retrain that pattern. And what they're saying is like a repeated memory. Okay, give me an example. Address to church. Okay, so let's say that you were conditioned that when you go to church, you have to wear a dress. And then all of a sudden you're like, I don't think I want to wear a dress. Oh, but I have to. I have to because I've always been told I have to wear a dress, but I don't really want to. But I have to because I've already been told this. So it's the process of backing up and becoming used to and adjusting to our change in thoughts and our change in patterns and the way that we do things. And you can't do it all just one big swoop. It has to be gradual and a little bit at a time. And that's what's happening. That's what's shifting and changing. So nobody can put a deadline and say, you're going to see ghost in 5 days. You're going to see ghost in 6 months. You're going to see ghost in 3 days. We're all different. We're all going through different challenges and different changes.
And how important is it, truly? How important is that?
And the most important thing is to allow yourself to go through that cellular change to where it'll just be. And what the consciousness is and what the consciousness of the universe is trying to tell you is that we're no longer up here and we're no longer down here. You're no longer separate. You're coming together as a whole. And when we come together as a whole and we are all vibrating on the same frequency, we all have the same cellular vibration, we will all see the same. You will see what's up here and you'll see what's down here, and it'll all be together. Everything will be there, and you don't search for it anymore. It just is. It just is what it is.
And then, of course, there's this excitement, of wanting certain things, But as I said, we are our own worst nightmare. We're working against ourselves. If we want it, we are blocking ourselves. Okay, so just be loving to self in the moment, allowing to respond to what happens right in the split second that's in your face. And that's where the power lies. Okay, and that's when it also speeds up. Because I'm not that patient. I love to when it goes fast, believe me. And I know a lot of you are like that as well. But I learned that I learned to let go of the wanting, and that's when it truly happens. Okay, so learn to understand your own rhythm, your own flow, and dance with that. Okay, feel the words that I'm saying now. Okay, because you can dance, but then you dance with that. You go with that motion, the way it's natural for you. And as you embrace that, it's just manifesting instantly in front of you. It's not just words. You'll feel, and of course now it's words, but when you start experiencing it, you understand what I'm saying right now. So just allow yourself to be in that split second of existence and be gentle. Okay? Be gentle with yourself.
I'm having the desire, I need to walk down that aisle and walk back for some reason.
There's a question.
If I could just share my experience.
Okay.
I agree. 2017, everything that you said is exactly, letting go when things transform for me.
Mm-hmm.
And And I agree 100% with what Leticia said about our ancestors and the spirits. I can feel that, and as an energy worker myself, I can see that, and I have seen that, and how they will come and show themselves at a certain time. It's not always the same for everybody. And when it happened for me, I just wanted to acknowledge that I experienced exactly what it was just a timing.
Right.
And somebody else that is a good friend of mine, and we are working together, and also an energy worker, it was different for her. And our frequencies are very similar. So I'm very, who knows why, but I'm thankful. I'm thankful for that. And I think it was because of, like what you said, when I let go before she stopped pushing.
Right.
So thank you guys for kind of acknowledging and confirming stuff.
Yes,
that
because
I
we are all different, and we are going to expect certain things in a certain way. That's not even naturally possible. You're wasting time, and you're walking a circle that's not going to end at all. So, yeah.
tell my friend.
I wish she was here.
Yeah, because I wanted to say real quick, nothing is set in stone, nothing is is concrete. I've had many times where I've done a reading and they come back and say, hey, you told me this. Well, because at the time, that's what I was reading, your energy at that moment. But you went a different route, maybe another parallel life. So this is what you're experiencing. Yes, we are all different, and it does change. And that's why we're here. We are energy manipulators. We are here to transform our own music. We are here to transform and make our own notes, people, my relatives. So it's up to you. All in all, it's up to you. Nothing is separate from who you are. And you are separate from nothing. You're infinite possibility.
It's very beautifully said, because yes, we are here to make our own music, but first we need to know our own song, okay? And when you know your song, you can build upon that. And that's what we're working on first, getting back to the basics, to understand the core of self. And with that, go ahead.
All that you're saying explains what I'm experiencing. I lost my husband on November 2nd. He had been sick, but I didn't really expect it that suddenly. And my reaction has been a feeling of excitement, actually, in finding out who I am without anybody else. And it's just really, it's exciting. It's an exciting time. And with all the stuff you have to go through, the legal stuff and the family stuff, I just keep saying, I'm just going to be in the flow. I'm just going to go with it, because I trust that everything will work out, and it has. When I needed help, it was there.
As you're trusting and as you're believing, you're manifesting it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You're not standing in your own way. So you're doing what feels right. That's awesome.
And I'd like to add that. And another thing is, what you've just said is kind of what we've all experienced too, also, is that we are ripping away the identifiers of who we thought we were because of a marriage, because of a partner, because of parents, because I'm a wife, because I'm a daughter, because I'm an auntie, because I'm a co-worker, because I'm a businesswoman, because I am self-employed, or whatever, I am homeless, or whatever what we've identified ourselves with. It's kind of what we did, is stripping away that.
Your job description.
Yes.
Erase.
You know, and we can bring knowingness to who we are instead of
Right.
Identifying what we've been conditioned to think of who we are.
Right.
You want to
Yes.
say
Mhm. There's a journey that I need to take, and that's to the door and back. So, what we would like for you all to do is to close your eyes and to take a deep breath. And as you do this, you will feel the particles of love that will fall down from the ceiling, and you will feel them fall upon your heads. And as you transition into this space of openness and love, kindness and generosity, you will begin to feel the gentle and subtle shift within your being that holds onto the light of all particles. And as these particles fall upon you, you'll begin to recognize that these are the gift of the love that is unconditional, all-knowing, and all a part of you, and all a part of what is all. If you choose to take this light and spread it within your being, you will begin to feel lighter. You'll begin to feel the gift of forgiveness, of giving and receiving, and the power of all that is. This is the gift that we're giving to you at this moment and at this time. We ask you to take a deep breath, clear your minds briefly. They're laughing and saying it doesn't have to be very long, just a split second. Breathe that love in. Feel it absorb within your being, all the way down through your feet and into the earth. This is what our gift is for you tonight, at this time. There's more to come. Open your eyes. And does the room look different to anybody? Is it a little bit more foggy?
Yes.
I thought you were going to say bright. And I was
No.
like, no.
Everybody's a little bit blurry, aren't they? Thank you. You did your job. You did what they asked you to do. You're in that space. Cool.
So, when the energy was coming into your crown and going into your body, who felt that they had to block it, or who felt like, oh, what's happening, or who could just let it all go? Let's ask. Okay, who was completely surrendering? Let's raise hands.
It was completely what?
Surrendering. For the ones that weren't, can you share why and what happened?
I was just thinking too much. I was trying to walk myself through it instead of just allowing.
Okay. Anybody else?
I felt that I was opening, and then when you asked that question, I had like a heart pain suddenly come up, and then I felt like, well, maybe I wasn't fully opening, but.
Okay. The reason why I'm asking this is because certain things will pop up in your mind or in your body. You'll feel certain things when a download is given and you're blocking it. Okay, and it can teach you something. So I want you to just think about, even if you haven't talked about it, think about what happened to you. Remember what happened to you. Make a short self-analysis from the heart and understand what you can do next time to improve that. Okay, I just want to give that.
I wasn't going to share.
Okay.
But, I didn't
Mm-hmm.
because I was told not to,
Okay.
so I listened. And
Okay. So do you know who told you not to?
yeah, my a guide.
Okay. A guide?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
You always listen to a guide?
do listen.
Okay.
I do listen.
Okay.
Serves me very well.
Right. Okay. So, 1 second. All right. We'll talk afterwards.
Okay.
Okay. It's better.
I'll explain more.
Yeah, but yeah, that's something that I need to tell you, but it's a little too personal.
Yeah,
We'll talk.
But I think you said this for a reason.
I did.
The reason why is that you need to become aware, not you, everybody needs to become aware. If there's a point where they are feeling the purest love and the consciousness of love coming to them, and you as an individual begins to feel a tightening or a blockage, or I see like a suit of armor coming up, or that energy just bounces off of you because you're afraid of it. Are you afraid that give me the word, are you afraid that the love will be too severe for you to handle? Is there a beginning time that there was a training in your life that has rejected the love that you receive from the highest power, the highest source that is? This is what we're asking you. What we're asking you to recognize is that the boundaries that are around your being or around your space of love, were they created by man? Were they created by mind? Which, if there is a reason why you have a mind blockage, it typically was caused by a belief or a thought or a pattern, something that was taught to you. If you are freely blocking the love that is coming to you, it is a time and a point and a place where you need to recognize what's causing that blockage. What we're saying to you is that when you recognize what this blockage is, what the cause is, which there may be many, it is time for you to work on what those are so that you can release them. And what I'm seeing is there's layers. And I'll use myself as an example because I'll be honest with you, I had body work done today, and guess what it was all about? The heart and opening up the heart. And what, and the therapist that was working on me said to me, well, what's going on with your heart? And I was like, oh my gosh, well, there's a lifetime of heart stuff. Starting from when I was a kid, not feeling accepted by my parents, not feeling like my dad loved me because he wasn't there, not feeling like this, not, being criticized by friends and then feeling inferior. If you open yourself up, all you're going to do is get hurt. Bad relationships, all of these things that build these blockages. What the problem is that humans can't differentiate from what those blockages are to the universal consciousness and love that's being given to you. Is this making sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, two different things. So what is meant to be and what's being said is that once you let go of that ego, of all of these walls and all of these things that are built up that the humans have created, then you'll accept the divine love. You'll accept that all-powering, all-knowing God love. But you got to clear out the crap. You got to open all of this up to receive it. So if you're feeling hesitant in any way, maybe it might be a good thing for you to kind of visit that and figure out where it's coming from so that you can be open and you can stand in your true self at some point.
So there's a shift happening here on this planet and also beyond. Okay, so that means that certain paths that we have walked that we were comfortable with, that has served us right, certain guidance that we have received in the past or in the present, that has served us right, is going to alter. Okay, certain beings are going to go their own ways. Certain beings are not going to be guiding us anymore, because we are going to be capable to do it ourselves. Okay, and it doesn't mean like you don't need them anymore, you don't want them anymore. It's just a natural process. Okay, so there's so much that can be said about this, but there's no time for that. So I'm trying to find a short way to explain. But if there's any questions, feel free to ask. It may be easier to address those questions. But certain beings that have worked with humanity and that are working with humanity, their task is going to alter as well. Okay, and that's why they said like what's happening in 2019 goes beyond what we ever could imagine. Okay, imagine. So. I don't even know where to start. So if this doesn't make sense, just let it be for now.
And and the reason why you can't imagine what's happening is because it's never happened before. Mm-hmm. This is a new experience for all of us. And so it's the only way. You can't predict or you can't foresee in the future. This isn't like, okay, well, this is the life stages that you go through and it's going to happen for everybody and this is where you end up. Or if you're this personality, these are the things that are going to happen to you. Whole new ball game.
Okay. So whenever something or a being communicates with you, that has always communicated with you, and says certain things that doesn't feel right, know that you can go wherever you choose to. Know that you don't have to listen ever to anybody or anything. Okay. Feel your truth and feel what's important to you. Okay? And as you will. It's sometimes maybe a little hard to do that, especially the ones that have been communicating with beyond for a while and are used to communicating to certain beings. It's not always easy to cut ties, more or less, but sometimes it's important. And with cutting ties, it doesn't mean that you're not going to be interacting with them at all anymore. It's going to be just a different acceptance of the received. If that makes sense. So I'll just leave it with that, unless if there are any questions about it. Or was it a good?
Yeah, Leticia has something to add too.
As I've stated earlier, as you're leveling up in your consciousness, so does your guides. Your guides level up, right? Because we have a certain theme to play. Mm-hmm. So they do too move out. Not that they won't ever be there but again, we are getting this team member, but it's not like a team member that's out there. Like it's here. It's here. Can't tell people enough. I mean, so much. Not right now. So, anyways, so you see pictures where we see Christ and his heart is, a Virgin Mary, Mother Mary, Mary Magdalene. The pictures here, the heart. It's all here in your heart space. That's why it's the most important part. It's your seat of the soul. It's where your true self is, your true essence. And so those guides will be there. They're not out there. It's not like I got to use my clairvoyance to see where they're at. They're right here. Everything you are is right here. And more so is because we're moving to this elevated consciousness where we don't have to depend on them. It's us that we depend on. It's who we are. It's God. People, my relatives, it is the God within you. It's the power within you that will lead you through anything or through what we're moving to. It's you. And that's why they say it's always important. It's your higher self. It's your higher self. Know thyself. Then too you shall know God. Because it's already there. Surrendering is the death of ego. And that's why I advocate plant medicine, because you will experience that faster than trying to do what you do on a daily. It is, bam, 1 cup, 10 years, bam, healing that fast.
What are you talking about? Plant medicine?
Plant medicine, ayahuasca, San Pedro, peyote, DMT, cannabis, ceremonies, because again, our primordial ancestors use these medicines and even other medicines. I mean, there's a long list of medicines. These are just probably the 5 ones I can list on my human fingers. But anyways, so it is, yes, it is energetically, it is all the way down to the molecular structures. It is all things, all infinite things that you are. It's the universe, and you will experience those things through these medicines. And I know it's not for some. For some of us, it is there for, it's there. I see a time and place where all of us will, all the nations will use these medicines to the point where once we've elevated that ego, through the ego death, that we won't need these medicines. We won't need these medicines because, again, we are the medicine. We are our medicine. But because of where we've come from through these dimensions, right, these are tools as well to help us.
It's important tools for certain, I almost want to say tribes, and then I'm not talking about African tribes or Indian tribes as human beings, okay? It's very important what she's telling you all. It's some people, that's their way, okay? Other people use stones, like I'm a stone nut, or other tools, that are being given by this planet, by this earth. It brings me to the Lemurian quartz that have been pushed in my face, and I'm wearing one now as well, because that's my key, and my tribe recognize this key as well. It connects to the deep ancestral knowledge of Lemuria, and things are awakening inside of us. It's unbelievable. And as it is unbelievable, that makes it so cool, because I'm really an advocate of, if you don't believe it, embrace it. Because that will bring you to even more amazing things that you can ever comprehend with this little thing that we have received here in our body, the brain. But anyways, yeah. So, are there any questions right now? And the funny thing is that I was asking my guidance, are there any questions? And they said no. And they said sing, but I didn't want to, so I was hoping for questions. So I sing again. I guess they want me to sing again. And I don't know, they always push me to sing, and I still to this day am fighting it. But it's needed. I have to tell you that as we have been sitting here, my body from the inside is. There's so much happening right now. So much is changing inside of me, and I think that singing will help me and everybody here as well. I just give you a little bit of information about the singing that I do. I work with various beings, but also the beings that live in the core of this planet, the Agarthians. And I went to Sedona not that long ago, and I was brought there again to my tribe, I guess. And as I was there, I actually was sick. I had a cold, and but I went there, and I went to this room where they brought me, and they started to sing in a choir, and their sounds came straight to my energetic body. And after I left there, I was completely healed. I was not sick again. I didn't have any cold anymore. But anyways, the sound that they gave me integrated with my being, and they say I now share it. That was their message back then. Okay. And I have been sharing, but as I said, sometimes I'm a little apprehensive on singing. But what I'm going to do, I'm just going to close my eyes and I'm going to share with you whatever is given, because that's how it works. It's not like I have a song here in my head. The sounds come through and I'll share with you, and I just want you to feel that, integrate with it if it feels right, and heal what needs to be healed, they say. Okay? I'm going to stand though, because I like to do that. I'm just going to recenter and get out of my head. Okay. It's very interesting when I sing the instructions that I get. I think it will be very comical for you guys, because at a certain point they said, and now sing it like you mean it. Yeah, because they told me I have to go low and then I have to go high. So I went high, but they said, now sing it like you mean it. And then I have to go really low from a little top. Anyway, it's funny when I say it out loud, but at that point, they just give me those instructions because, and that's the thing, we hold back. Okay? And I need to voice this with everybody here. I hold back too often, even knowing that I shouldn't, but we still do. Mm-hmm. So whenever you completely surrender and completely let go, no matter how it sounds, it doesn't matter how it sounds, it's about sharing from the core of self so it can be felt and understood. That's all that matters, but that requires the surrender that we talked about earlier, and it's something that we all have battled with and are battling with, but no more, dear people. Why? Okay. It's not important what other people think of anything. It's about giving what needs to be given. That's what's important. Okay. So, yeah. Any questions? Just enjoy the silence if there isn't. It's all good.
Well, I jotted down some things from the last meeting because it's like, I forgot to say this, I should have said this. It was like, you should have said this, you should have told them this. So I wrote some things down, and if you guys want copies, I can either email it to you or give a copy to Julia's here and she can get that to you. But there is a list of common ascension symptoms for this year. And yes, it is from, I feel like some of we but I want to say the most important one that you'll feel is the spinal cord and your back problems, neck problems, because that is changing. That structure is changing. Remember, I talked about systems. This is one of the systems that is changing to level up, so to speak. So I'm not going to go over them. You all probably know, but that's the main one I want to talk about. Is the back, neck, problem, back headache, and heart. Just feeling like your heart is heavy and really hurting. Because it's the physical heart feeling, the real, your true spirit heart coming in and moving into that, ready to bust, right? So I won't go into them, but become aware and research your new light body, light language, DNA, chakra systems, what we call the rainbow system. Include information of your GSF self, your God, sovereign, freedom self, as a cosmic citizen, and the transitional shift of carbon-based to silicone structuring bodies from December 2012, moving from 3D, 4D to 5D, and so forth. Upper and inner worlds and all its inhabitants. What is as above, so below. What is as within, so without. Your universal laws. Most importantly, the law of one, because we all know that there is only one law, and that is the law of one. Simple knowing of who you are as a spiritual being created with the four sacred spirits of fire, water, air, and earth. Connect back to Mother Earth, the sun, and all celestial bodies. You are a cosmic citizen. Humanity is evolving into learning how to function better within group consciousness through many different social settings that present an array of personal challenges as a byproduct of the bifurcation, or I think that's how you say that word, and ascension cycle. The higher frequencies and new chakra or body configurations are thrusting us into a new, different energetic foundation, which pushes us to the highest lessons of our evolving consciousness. That content that we are being forced to learn at this time. Before we can achieve personal sovereignty and join the universal conscious community, we must develop in our own ability to navigate in alignment with heart-based group consciousness in service to others, more so to self as well. This requires us to learn how to live honestly, transparently, authentically. We cannot hide behind any mask or deception or still use manipulation forces to get what we desire, to take the upper hand over other people. If we use manipulation and force our personal will into reality to serve the self or to feel more comfortable, these energies feed the fears of the predator mind to grow. In order for us to become cosmic citizens, we truly want to live God, Mother Goddess, sovereign and free in the law of one. We have to obey these laws and protect them right now in the physical world, so that when the GSF timeline opens, which it is, we have the opportunity to join the rest of the galactic family. If we are not of criminal mind or predatorial thinking, because it's funny, because in other planets, especially like when you're going visiting the Pleiades, those planets, they know, like if you come with your ego, any part of it, it's censored. Everyone knows your dirty work. And the light goes on, they say, no, escort them up out of the system. They cannot be here. Because it would cause a ripple effect through that solar system. So that's why this is so important. When I talked about lies and deception, truth, people know, beings know, right? So again, in the ascending further timeline, future timeline, as a GF citizen, it's all an energetic signature within the light body. There's absolutely nothing that is hidden. If there's any brutality, harm, or criminal activity, every last detail will be known, and others in the cosmic cities know. Like they know you, they can read you. That's why they say when your loved ones are on the side, they know everything in your brain already. So you missing them, you want them to be with you. They are at the splint moment, right there beside you. So again, we're just moving out of this and welcoming our alliances for the interdimensional free worlds. And that's when I talk about GSF as your God, sovereign, free self. We are free of all these old systems. And we cannot no longer lie to one another. We cannot no longer follow the lies or deception of people not holding the truth. right? And people of power, I see that's crumbling too. That's what we're moving into, where the government will crumble. We will come to a time where we will have no president. We will not need that because your God sovereign self is in charge. You don't need any other outside entity to tell you who to be, how to be, when, why, or what. It is you that have the power. My relatives. And I can go on and on all night. Yeah. But that's the main thing. I was like, I need to say this. So I wrote it down. So then, itself later. So I was like, oh. Now someone drive home like, oh. So thank you for listening. I get excited to share information, to share love, and yeah, it's a beautiful thing. So thank you all for listening. Oh.
Is there a card that you will pull for the group?
I did draw the friendship card. This is my daughter. She turned 12 Thursday. This is her deck. But I drew the friendship card of the fire unicorn. And it just talks about seek out your soul family, surround yourself with positive people, spend more time in social settings. And it's kind of what we're doing right now. You guys are here for a reason. You guys have more than just your blood family. You have your soul family that is probably even more truer than your blood family. I tell you that now. I can attest to that and be a witness to that. Find your soul family in social settings. Find your family and getting yourself out there. Go to Panera Bread 10 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday morning. I don't know. Just go. When your heart, when your God sovereign free self tells you to do something, jump on it and do it. Have fun. What you're passionate about. You want to learn to paint, go paint. You want to learn how to sing. Class from Wilhelmina. You want to understand things. That's what
Painting,
these
yes, but not singing.
gifted people are for. It's not about learning it their way or our way. It's learning it your way. You pick up the pieces as you go. But more importantly, you gather your family.
Yeah.
Every one of us agreed to be here today before we even was here.
Yeah, it's very cold outside, and it's kind of cold in this room right now too. But inside it's warm.
It's not me. I'm hot. I'm on one. I'm ready to go.
Man, I'm boiling.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw the shoes came off. I was like, oh, she's getting ready to tell us something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So finding our tribe, as I said before, that's what we're all. We're not searching for it. It's just happening. When you are truly true to who you are, the right people are coming on your path, and you'll recognize them, and it just fits like a glove. I always make this joke when I do personal acceleration classes with people, and I always make this joke like this is a freaking reunion, because I want to say 90% of the people that come on my path, old acquaintances, family, or old friends, or whatever. There's some kind of relationship with that, but that's just one of the how do you call that? Results, I guess, with listening to what your task is. In my case, I need to reach people, and they need to recognize me. They need to remember their own true self, and I'm just handing them the mirror. Okay, and that should be for. If you ask me, anybody, and it's funny because you brought mirrors, I just realized that. But it's really true, no matter who is your teacher or your coach or whatever you want to call it, make sure that you're only being handed a mirror so you can look into yourself, your true self. Okay? Because that's what needs to be understood, remembered, and embraced, so you can truly start walking your path. And start walking your talk as well. I don't even know what time it is.
7:48.
Oh, there it is. Right. Okay, so we have some time still.
There's no message that needs to be
Okay. Go ahead.
So, what is the question that you would like to ask? You want to know what are the specifics that each individual will be facing over the next 12 months. What we want you to tell them is that we are all here to guide you through this journey. You have gone through many obstacles in the past, and through the last few years have been extremely turbulent for many of you. What we want you to know is that the peace is coming, and that you will begin to recognize that there is a shift. As you shift, and as you become more aware of what's changing inside you, you will begin to see that the involvement of others in your lives will shift and change. The occupations that you may presently have may come in with a different attitude. What they're saying is that you may be, the way that you see your job or your position today, it may change in the future. You'll see it in a different perspective. That may also mean that it will lead to new occupations for many or life changes. You'll begin to recognize what was once important to you is no longer, such as a fancy house or no house. From one extreme to the other, you'll recognize that you'll become more neutral. What we want you to know is that there's a food difference as well. What you'll begin to recognize is that the food you once ate will no longer be the same. You will recognize that you no longer have a taste for a certain subject. You used to like carrots. They may no longer be good for you, so now you like beets. Something may change in your palate that was not the same. As we let you go through this journey, you will be given guidance and the steps to take. And what I see is that there's beings behind you, just kind of nudging you along, with their hands. They're gently guiding you down the road, just like a father would a child, walking him down the road. And we are here to cause no harm, but only help. If you will choose to listen to the words that reside within you, your journey will be less resistant and more peaceful, and will begin to flow with grace and ease as you have once heard of. What we're saying to you is that there are many options that are coming up and being presented to each one of you. And the path you choose to take will be yours, and you can choose the least path of resistance, or you can fight all the way. And I just see somebody kicking and screaming. I'm not going to change that. I don't care if I don't like carrots. I'm going to eat them anyway. That kind of thing. So what we're saying is that we're presenting the opportunities for each one of you to view with different eyes. And as you see things differently with the eyes that reside upon your head, in your head, that was not put very tactfully. The eyes that are existing within your skull will no longer exist. You'll begin to see things differently on a different level of consciousness, and you'll begin to see more gratitude around you as your heart begins to change in your view and your perspective. What we're asking for you to do in the year of 2019 is take hold of what belongs to you and let go of what does not. Does that make sense?
No.
What you're holding on to right now, for example, experiences from the past, you no longer need to hold on to. Let them go. What's here and what's now in the present is what you hold on to. Does that make sense? Okay. And what we're asking you to do is to recognize and to see that is the difference. Let go of the past and live in the present. And as you become more present in this day and age and the reckoning of what is all around you, you'll recognize that life will become much more simplistic and honoring and with gratitude as you are grateful for all that is around you, and there is no longer those obstacles that are no longer needed. This is our gift to you, and as the world changes, you will change also. As you stay open in the next few months, you'll begin to see these changes as they occur. Now we will let you know that 2020 may be slightly different, and they're laughing about it. The reason why is because more of us are evolving to the point that we need to be at the end of 2019. So the people in this room that are willing to accept our journey, their journey, everything changes. The vibrational shift will be occurring. And they're more like thinkers, more people that are resonating at the same vibration, which changes everything that's out there. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's changing the consciousness of the planet.
Yeah. Well, it's
Right.
it's a collective consciousness.
Right.
So the more that think the same, and the more that vibrate and resonate at that same level, it increases the whole thing. So as you do this, and you become more recognizable in the stance that you are one of them or one of us. You're one of them because you don't see yourself as one of them now. So at this point, you're one of them. But as in 2020-ish, depending on how fast you choose to evolve, you'll become one of us. One of us as in all, and all is one. And this is what we're guiding you towards. Any questions? It's an adventure. This is fun.
It is.
And that's where me and Wilhelmina are like, okay, we want this done tomorrow. we're tired of the crazy weird body shifts and the weird vibrations and the forgetfulness and all of these things that have been occurring, which you guys will go through the same thing. We want it to be done and over with. But unfortunately, like we said, it takes time. But
whenever that wanted that need comes up, I shut it down because I know that's not what I want to operate from, because that's the ego talking. Okay? So we have to let go of the want and the need and stay truly within. I've said it so many times today, but in that split second of existence, so we can truly embrace our powers. Because yes, we have tasted so many different opportunities. Yes, we have received a lot of knowledge. But the implementation is far more important than the receiving. You understand what I'm saying? So we all have to do our own task and our own journey of growing and allowing ourselves to be loved by self, embraced by self, and recognized by self. If that makes sense. Okay. So. I always say, let bygones be bygones, let rules be out of the window. Remain within the control that your heart knows best, and do your thing. Okay.
I have a question. So, and I know it's probably different for everybody, and I would just like to hear what some people do or use, because I get busy in my daily life and forget to be open and start, no, it should be this way, instead of being open to the way,
Right.
whatever.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the main reasons why I started the personal acceleration program, for people to understand truly that the core of anything and everything that we're trying to achieve is love. You have to love yourself enough to understand the importance of all these different things that you don't want to remember. You know what I'm saying? Okay? Mm-hmm. So you can go on and on and on forever, but if you don't love yourself, you're still walking in that vicious circle, and there's nothing changing. So go back to basics, go back to the foundation of self. Love that fully. Learn to love that fully. And then anything and everything is possible. It's like a blink of the eye. Really, it's happened this fast. Once you love yourself, everything that you question right now as being difficult, a joke. It cannot be difficult. It only becomes difficult when you stop loving yourself on that level that you're supposed to love yourself. And that's just a reminder of you, okay, get back. I am love, and in love I grow.
I'm going to add on to that, because Sherry and I work together. And we are both realtors, and we both do a lot of business, and we both go crazy. And as I say, do as I say. I've told you a million times, you always do as I say, not as I do, because I'm still going through this process as well. But what I've learned, and this has become, I held on to a belief. I'm trying to think, it's probably been 16 years ago. I had a mentor, lady that taught me about spirituality, somebody that I'm a massage therapist as well, back prior to being a realtor. And I was the director of a massage therapy school, and she was an instructor that I had the utmost respect for. She was the light. She was the one that, she taught me how to hug. I mean, everybody that walked in, she loved unconditionally. It didn't matter who they were. She was this beautiful, beautiful light. And I remember her telling me, and I never forgot it. And she said to me, you can't live in this flighty way. We can't live with that spiritual mind, loving everybody and being everybody's, wonderful and everybody's great. Because here's the real world. And if you're in the real world, you're flighty. You don't have a brain, and you can't figure out problems because you're just kind of going with the flow. I mean, you guys know what I'm saying. So this was this belief that I had all of these life. And every time I get towards this point, I mean, obviously you guys can tell I can be very spiritual. And then when I get into my real estate world, I'm very left brain and very analytical. I walk two lines. I have this life over here and I have this life over here. Probably about a year and a half ago, it came to me that you're walking on this line. And because you can't stay in this mode 24/7, because what are your clients going to think of you? What are other people going to think of you? What if people don't believe what you believe? And who in the world would ever think that you're channeling information? You're just a freak. So nobody needs to know about this life except for these people. My real estate life is completely different. I'm the educated thinker, all of this stuff. So here I have these two lives, and I'm walking the line, and I just jump off when I need to be in one point, jump back on the line, then jump off when you need to be in the other. Well, about a month ago, driving down the road, and I got the message, you need to live in the spiritual life 24/7. You need to be here 24/7. Well, then I had a session with Wilhelmina a couple of weeks ago, and guess what she said? You need to stay over here. It was a belief that I had. Do you guys understand what we're talking about, beliefs? I had that belief because my mentor told me, you can't be this spiritual person 24/7. You got to straighten up and act right and fit in everybody else's expectations. So here I am sitting in the middle of the line, and I'll just jump over whenever I need to. Well, do you know how confusing that is? Guess what? I don't know who I am, and I'm living a false life. I am never truly who I am, because who I truly am is over here. And guess what? This life over here makes me miserable because I'm not happy being somebody that I'm not. And I work myself to death, work too many hours, trying to please everybody else and solve everybody else's problems. And so what I've learned in this aspect, in order to stop this chaos over here, I have to be my true self. Well, guess what? I've had about 3 weeks of this. I still have some learning to do because I haven't been tested really good yet. But what my point is that once you recognize who you truly want to be, where you truly want to be, all of our chaos will start to lessen because we won't feel so responsible for the person that we're trying to please.
Right. And as you said, you're trying to be a person that you're not.
Right.
Is that about love for self? No. That's why I said, we can talk forever about this. But if the love is not embraced for self, anything that happens after that will be off balance. Because it's a lie. Okay? So you truly have to be truthful enough to allow yourself to be truthful. I've said it so many times, Some of you are new, so you haven't heard it yet, so I need to say it again. Allow yourself to be truthful enough to be truthful to self. That's the only person truly that you have to be truthful to first is self. When once you're truthful to self, you're automatically truthful to everybody around you, because you're not going to be a lie. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You don't have to be truthful to try to be truthful to your husband or your mom or whatever, your child. Trying. Why do you try? Because it shouldn't be even an issue to be truthful to them if you are truthful to yourself. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So start at the beginning. Start with self. And embrace that, and you will see how easy everything is. It's so simple, truly. But it's not something that we have learned or were brought up to, or has been in our DNA for many centuries. Okay, so that's the transformation that we now use experiencing right now. Okay, restructuring from the inside. Okay, starting at in a different sequence of existence. Anyways, it's too much to talk about, but you get my idea. Okay.
It's a process,
Mm-hmm.
and again, you and I are people pleasers,
Right.
and we want to be at everybody's beck and call. If they call, we're going to answer, and there's going to be a point where you and I recognize, I hope mine's really soon, that if it's 10 o'clock at night and a client calls, you don't have to answer the phone. You don't have to drop everything in your life to please that person anymore, because when we become our true authentic self and it's your true heart, that heart's what's going to come across. That heart's what other people are going to see. Now, obviously, you're not going to please everybody, because there's a lot of people out there that can't see that. You've got your polarities. You've got your negatives and your positives. And you and I are all going to love each other because we're going to see the light in every one of us. Well, sometimes people are so angry that they can't see that light, and we may not please everybody. But I'm to the point in my life that I can't keep on doing what I'm doing. I have gained 30 pounds in the last 5 years. I have food cravings. I get stressed out. First thing I want to do is eat chocolate. I mean, it's everything that you can dream of that is the problem with living a stressful life I have. And it's not the way that I want to live anymore, and it's not the way that I'm going to choose to live. So I'm going to jump over here to the spiritual side, and people can just think I'm freaky. And I'll be okay with that now. And this has been a big deal. I mean, it's been a big shift for me when I started reading Akashic Records in public. And thanks to Joyous, because she helped me get out of my box, because I was afraid somebody would know who I am. And I'm still working through my clients. Oh my gosh, what if the clients know that I'm sitting up here at the panel? I can't post this on Facebook because I have past clients that are Facebook friends, and I don't want them to know who I truly am. Well, I'm going to have to figure out how to get over this if I'm going to keep progressing in my being. And this is where we all are, is being able to stand in your truth. And as a spiritual being and becoming conscious. And I know the whole universe resides within me. I've gone through those shifts and those changes, and it's all right here. But my ego says I have to act a certain way and I have to be a certain person. And that's where we are. That's where all of this shift. So by 2020, I ain't gonna give a shit. You're either gonna like me or you're not. And I'm gonna put it in a box. I don't know where I'll be. I'll be under a bridge somewhere or something. I don't know. But I am.
Just ask yourself the question, and not to interrupt you, sorry. But you're saying, that you are acting a certain way and you don't know why. Ask yourself the question then, why? And give yourself the time to understand and recognize the true answer to that question. Why? Why are you truly doing that? And when you understand that, it's easy to reroute that. You understand what I'm saying? Because that's how our brain works. A lot of things we want to understand, we want to analyze. And that's only because we haven't allowed ourselves to surrender yet, okay? And it's okay. It's all a process. So, but if you're still in the process of wanting to understand why, so you can truly let go allow yourself the time and do so. Okay? Give yourself the time to understand what's important to you and for you to move further and transform in the time and pace that you're ready for.
Tom is always on the side.
No.
No, I just want to.
What is at the end? Okay.
I did wanted to say something about speaking up. I know for me, it's been one of my greatest lessons in this lifetime. And I see it all the time, even on the backs of car tags. Speak up. That will help you more so, because I know it's helped me more so than anything, is just to speak up. I remember there was a time when my awakening happening, when I would come into this spiritual, I want to be spiritual in this spiritual path. And I always believed in life beyond this life. I always believed in the other side. I grew up with these things, right? And to put it on social media, to put on that I'm a medical marijuana advocate, because I'm a psychedelic advocate, what I put on there, years ago, it's changed. That I don't care what I put on social media anymore. I don't care who likes it. If you don't like it, there's a delete button. Hit it, please. Do so. I don't hide behind that, this is who I should be, who I should not be. I come from a very strict Native American family. Yeah, I've had my grandpas in my family say, hey, you're Native American, you shouldn't have these feathers. Hey, you should be touching those tarot cards. Hey, I even brought my own brothers, or cousins, they just quit talking to me. But because I stood on my truth, I spoke up for myself, I believe, I know who I am. That all switched, that all changed. And now they're, come bless my house for me. Can I get a reading from you? Can we get some Reiki? It's like, even they tell me their stories. Hey, I had a dream I was abducted. What do you think? Can you tell me this dream about me? My family has come to me for more things than anything. And I have family members and my own children that do participate in ceremony. And it's because I said, you know what? This is not who I am. I don't fit. Since 2011, I really, really didn't fit into this box. I never did. I was always pushing the limit. With everyone. Authority. No, you gotta tell me. Let me tell you. I'm just that free spirited. Again, when you unlock your true essence, because you think of children, you ask a child, what do you want to be when you grow up? What are the things that you want in life? And their imagination flows. They'll tell you all these things. They'll tell you about fairies, the unicorns, the golden city, everything. They have dreams beyond dreams because they know. I put myself in that place of knowing who I am and who I am not. So you can either love me or guess what? See you later. Because whether or not they come a week later, a month later, a year later, one day you'll look around and see everybody around you that taunted you, that criticized you, that said something. They'll come and tell you, I need your assistance. I need your help. I had this experience. Tell me about your experience. They will come and they will line up. And there's another thing. We forget that we are all spiritual beings. Everyone wants to be a healer. Everyone wants to be this medium, this psychic, this special person. So we go teach these classes, we learn these things, we go different, we pay so much money to get these certificates to say that this is who I am because this paper said it. We'll go to a university and we get a PhD and hang it on our wall and say, that's who I am. I am so smart, I am so big because this piece of paper says so. That's worth about $70,000 in debt. Give power to a piece of paper more than the heart and the knowing truth that's inside you. Relatives. That is an ending of that. You want to learn something, you have a passion for something, go do it. Get a mentor, get a spiritual leader. YouTube, plenty of stuff on it for free. Or anything on YouTube for free. Watch a video, Prime Video, whatever that's called, right? A lot of good things on there. It's not about always having to pay money to get the information, right? There's other places you can go for donations based, or you just listen to someone. Listen to a child that's in a room that's going to give you a deep inner knowing truth. We'll have to come to a time where we have to quit letting the outsiders tell us who we are. That's a limit. Learn your passionate things and be it. I never went to school to be a massage therapist, but I can tell you that I give you the best deep tissue, the best lomi Hawaiian massage ever in your life. Because I know that was in me. I knew it. You know, I knew about Reiki before I was even a Reiki master. Why? Because it is in you already. Everything you want. Everything. You see someone, oh, they're gifted, oh, they're so talented, oh, they can connect to this being, they can connect to that. My relatives, so can you. None of us are more special than the next person. We are all equal. We all have the same gifts. Some of us choose to hone and embrace other gifts more so than others. But every single gift is within you. Embrace it. Sorry, I have to get up because you are the power, people. You are the power. And I have to stand up because that is truth. And I'm here to stand in that right now. Because it is you, it is me. It's us.
And you will recognize those gifts when you surrender. Mm-hmm. Honestly. Like she was saying, the Reiki master. See, we all have are born with the gift, the universal healing energy to flow through us. I'm an artist, self-taught. Why? Because I allowed myself to. Okay. So it's about surrendering to your own abilities and stop putting it in a box. As I started off with, beyond measure, allow it to flow. And that's when the true miracles, so-called miracles, because it's not really miracles, it's just natural stuff, is happening. Okay.
Well, if you guys haven't figured it out yet, that's the theme of tonight. So the theme is finding your true self. And then once you become your true self or start searching to find your true self, you're going to start realizing and recognizing that things are going to become easier. That's what 2019 is all about. Cool.
Awesome. Are there any questions so far? Because we have been talking and talking. Yeah. So she's going to do something, but before she starts, I want to just finalize my sharing here. The 5th of February, I'm going to do a multidimensional activation, and that's an activation where everybody's introduced into the different layers of existence. It's a journey of an hour, and there's information on my website, so feel free to check that out if you like. But most importantly, know that everything is within us. The universe is within us. You are the universe. Okay? So, happy exploring. Go ahead.
So each and every one of you have a mirror under your table, under your chair. So I'm just going to do a little light language activation for speaking up and speaking in your power. Woo! Is everyone in the room? Okay, we'll wait. So I just want to describe a little bit of what we're doing with the mirrors, or maybe we should wait. Yeah, wait.
They don't say double in.
Oh yeah, this is what I said.
She doesn't have a mirror.
Here's one. So,
Okay, here's one here.
Leticia, you can take this one.
Is there one more year?
Do you have two?
No, but for those of you who don't have a mirror, because this little one is for yours to take home. It's like this.
Does anybody need one? Does anybody have one?
Not sure.
Two, this was just.
Everybody good?
I don't want to look at myself. Although thanks for my chance.
When we're just talking about self-love, you better look at yourself.
Sherry and I both look at myself. What's your name?
Carla Jones.
I look at myself every day before I leave the house.
Sometimes things are stupid.
I'll keep my license though.
Just in case.
Even in the days when I'm like,
Money on the side if you need it.
so are we all in here? Or is she still in the restroom? Everyone's in here? Okay. So before, I just want to do a quick activation for speaking up in 2019 against all things that no longer fit you, archetypes, patterns, old beliefs, those things. We're going to move into knowing, speaking up to my knowing, claiming my power. That's what this little activation will be from. No, tana ni halana kasi kita na ako sa oki. Ti halana kata ina kasi kata no ko so ko. Kata ta kita uko na negati. Ti kada mereka ta uko so ko. Ri kata na online kata na digati ina kasa. Ki kata no uso ko ri. Ti kada di na kata ti kata uko ro pa kita ina ko. Ko kasi kata ranya. Lia hana aki sa ta uruko. Kika ta kada ro uso ko ko berikiti no. Thank you. A little help from the Lyrians and Syrians Council. Whew, they make me so hot. Thank you.
Thank you.
So next thing we're going to do is I've got these mirrors for you. How many of you pray to God? Right? You pray to God, right? Everyone has a mirror, right? So how many of you know what God looks like?
Right here.
You're on it. You already got it.
Good answer, girl.
So I got these mirrors. So in case you didn't know, take a look in these mirrors.
Yeah.
All of it is God. Every particle, every molecule, every proton, every neutron, everything that you are, what you want to call the polarity, the good, the bad, the beautiful, the ugly, it is all you, and it is all God. Look to the person next to you. A divine, perfect, glorious expression of God. We don't have to look someplace that we think that doesn't exist. For God is right with you, and He says, I've only sent you angels, even in the darkest of times. So the little mirror is for yours to take home. So you think about those times you get frustrated, you think your mind gets like the gerbil, the rat in the cage. Take it out. It is that simple. It is your divine connection. The eyes are the road to the heart. If you look in someone's eyes, you know everything about them. You know the truth. You know what lies within them. You know if they're lying to you. You know, if they're telling you the truth, just by looking in someone's eyes, you know their energy, right? You know how honest they are, how real they are. They can keep a conversation by looking at you in their eyes. Because they're coming to you the truth of love. So practice with that in the mirror, where you're at home, where you're driving. Well, not driving.
I was gonna say, wait a minute.
Well, I do that, you know, I every stoplight, you know, like.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But you're not driving.
Yeah, just not driving, just at a stop sign. And tell the God behind you, honk the horn.
Exactly.
So this is my little gift to you, to remind you, you are God. We are God. And so the next time you have a hard day with another person, remember, they too are God.
Yes.
I hope.
Oh.